Okay, so hello everyone, thank you for coming and welcome to AI Content Migrate for Drupal. A bit about myself, I'm Raffaele, I work with Drupal since 2011 and I'm tech lead at EM2, this is a Drupal company that is also a platinum sponsor of this event. I'm a contributor on different contrib models. You can find my Drupal.org profile here. But let's introduce the agenda of this session. We'll start with an overview on the AI Content Migrate module, what it does and how to enable it. Then we'll see how it analyzes some legacy pages, automatically detects the structure using AI, and provides a Drupal content model. Basically content types, taxonomies, files, media types, and stuff like that. We'll see a practical demo of the interaction with the AI agent to refine the proposed content model, because the AI proposed content model. From there, we'll import content types, media, taxonomies, images, using the content model suggested by the AI. For large-scale migration, we'll cover how to run this via Q API, basically. And we also have a focus on migration costs and how to contain migration costs. And we share also the modules roadmap. Here you can see the Drupal.org page of the AI Content Migrate module. The only dependencies of the module are basically AI agents and Chrome PHP Composer library to run Chrome in headless mode to analyze JavaScript rendered websites. So it often happens that our clients ask us to migrate their legacy website to Drupal to make it secure, so we need to do it faster, but also cost efficient. So we need to migrate lots of pages and multiple microsites from legacy HTML to Drupal. This model provides basically an AI agent that analyzes the legacy pages and automatically proposes a content model. Handles media and taxonomy also, and performs also a migration to populate those fields. And can also perform a dry run to validate the outcome before doing disasters. Here are some key elements of this module. Basically, it provides an out-of-the-box tool to handle large but simple and repetitive migrations from legacy website to Drupal, and leverage AI to propose, refine, and validate Drupal content model. Why? Because sometimes teams waste time and budget rebuilding similar mappings or microsites. Basically, they differ for one field, and this module automates the boring parts, basically. How? It provides a standard AI agent to analyze legacy content, propose content type and fields, and suggest mappings. So you can review, refine also the module, the proposed model, and execute the migration. It uses Chrome to analyze JavaScript rendered websites. It cuts efforts and costs using AI only for high-level operations, basically. It uses AI to define the config entities of Drupal. Speeds up the delivery and keeps results consistent across lots of microsites and pages. And the idea is also to allow ambitious site builder to execute simple migrations of legacy websites, basically. Here we have the dependencies. The minimum version is Drupal 10.3, but no problem. We need to install the AI contrib module and the AI agents module. We need to have an API key and the Chrome PHP Composer library to analyze JavaScript rendered websites. The setup is simple. We first enable the AI agents module. In this case, we enable also AI agents explorer to try and use the agent. In this case, we enable, of course, the AI content migrate module. We can find a new agent like any other AI agent, basically. And you also need to install the Chromium binary to analyze JavaScript rendered website. You can also do this via the dev, like in this case. So, in this example, we're migrating some sample legacy pages that are about tourism in Italy, and we want to import them from their old website to Drupal, to this new instance of Drupal. And on this slide, you see two representative legacy pages we'll use as source, Positano and Etna. AI Content Migrate will suggest content types, fields, taxonomy, and media, and tries to identify some common patterns to use during the migration phase, basically. So, here's the demo. So, we're starting from a fresh Drupal install with no content. I've added basically the two module, AI Content Migrate and AI Agent. We go to the AI Agent section. Here we can find the new AI Content Migrate agent. Now I open the AI Agent Explorer and enter the prompt to the agent. Analyze the following web page and report the identified elements. So I paste the URL of the page that we saw before. Let's see. So the agent is running. And we have two key outputs from this. Basically, the model proposal task, which shows the JSON of the content model identified by AI. And this is the only time when we call the AI. And the final answer of the agent, basically a summary of the elements, of the found elements. Here we have a focus on the example that we saw before. Of the suggested content model for this page. On the top we can see basically the title. For each element it gives us also the XPaths that we can reuse to perform the migration on the similar pages also later. So we don't need to call AI for each page. This is the idea behind it. You can see next to each field also the XPath. Taxonomies and media bundles in this case. We can also refine the model suggested by the AI. See? In this example, we want to change the model basically. Yes, like this. The suggested model, we want to make the subtitle field optional in this case. So we can send the prompt, change the subtitle field, make it optional. Or we can change the type of a field or the XPath for a field. We can change the model. So now it's optional. You can see that now it's optional, the field. Also, we can also change the type of a field. In this case, we change the overview field to make it a long text, because now it's text. We want to make it long text. So make the overview field as a long text. And we can see the change on the right. Basically now the field should be long text. Text only. Okay. After this we can execute the import of our content, of the identified content. We can send the prompt, so okay, run, you can perform the import or we want. In this case, we are importing a single node, not a queue. So content is imported with the following ID, and We saw the content type that has been created. So the portfolio project, that is the content type identified by the AI, and all the fields that are identified by the AI. So basically, project tags, role, subtitle, and all the fields identified by the AI. Also, the taxonomy term entity reference we did. Subtitle field is optional, as we refined, and also the other field is a long text. The overview field is a long text. Here we can have an overview on the edit page of the imported content. We have the title, the subtitle, the image, also the other metadata that are important by AI. Should have also basically it imports also the taxonomy terms, the file or media. It depends on the model that you refined with the AI. So let's have a focus on the first prompt of this agent. This is an intent router, basically, for Drupal content modeling import. It reads the user prompt free, and plus an optional existing JSON model if you need to refine the model. Returns only a JSON with the action that we need to suggest to our AI agent. We have two modes. In this first version, we have two modes. The analyze direct version that basically creates a simple content with fields, and the analyze paragraphs that basically tries to promote the usage of paragraphs, because sometimes you want to use components. We have the import content action, the bulk import content action, and also the dry run if you want to do the dry run. And the refine model. If the model is missing or empty, we do not allow import bulk or stuff like that. This prompt is the simple content analysis prompt that, given an HTML file, analyzes its structure and suggests a Drupal-ready content model, basically. It proposes content types, fields, taxonomies, media bundles, and for each field, one or more resilient XPaths, in my idea. So when a taxonomy is generated, it adds an entity reference field, and for each vocabulary, it wires terms into content types. If an existing model is supplied, the refined model, it skips parsing and applies the requested edits to the model, and returning only the updated model. This prompt is also similar, but given an HTML file, it analyzes structure and suggests a Drupal-ready content model, but it enforces the paragraph-first approach. So the key idea is that the Drupal AI agent calls the model only to define the content type structure, only for high-level operations, and to identify common patterns, retrieves the XPaths, the JSON paths, selectors for the significant content, and performs the migration without calling the AI model for each content, because in a large-scale migration, the cost would otherwise be huge. So that's the point. We can also perform a bulk import of multiple contents. The structure, config entities will be created directly from the AI agent. So here I send him queue URL. It basically creates me a queue with all the URL, the cluster of similar content. In this case, we're using Gemini, but you can use all the model that you want. So here you can see the proposed content model by the AI. Then when you say OK, you can execute the import, it creates basically a queue in Drupal. So AI is called only when the model is defined in the initial phase, basically. When multiple pages are the subject of the migration, the module calculates the content types once, and then for each content, it creates a queue element. This is the create item, basically. You can also execute the migration in dry run mode to identify problems before of the execution. In this case, the initial prompt. You can send the initial prompt as dry run. We have the router call. Then the modal proposal that suggests the configuration. Also again the model. But we can say, okay, import this in dry run mode. And it basically doesn't save the configuration entities in this case. So, we have the roadmap. We'll try to ship the first alpha version by the end of the year. One idea is also sitemap AI-assisted scanning to discover cluster of content, basically, to estimate the volumes and propose the initial content types. Add a better developer experience, so plugin system. Also this, integrate this with the content workflow just to migrate the first time in draft and then publish them or archive them. A granular rollback to perform a rollback only on one content type, on other stuff. And if you want to contribute, you can if you have any ideas, you can contact me on Drupal site. And that's all. Thank you. Any question?
Thank you. So on the demo site, I saw that the site actually already labeled the fields. So it said date and all that stuff.
Oh, shit.
Where the one is migrating to.
Oh, this.
So the URL, yeah, this one. So it already says date and year, and like on a regular site, you wouldn't show that. You would just show the year, and you wouldn't specify the actual label. How would it work if it was designed that way? Would it recognize if it is a date?
Yeah. Yeah, it's basically a one-to-one migration in this case. So you at the moment you can't refine. I think that is just part of the model refinement. Basically, we can add it as a step in the model refinement phase, but in this case, it's not allowed at the moment.
One, two. This looks very interesting. In terms of the process under the hood, is any of this using the Migrate API?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have two versions. One with Migrate API and one with script, a service, basically a Symfony service that creates the content. Because my idea is also to allow the ambitious site builder to use this, but with Migrate, it could be tricky. I'm thinking about it, so this is a good question.
Because it seems like a logical thing that you could use this for the initial analysis of the source sites, but then customize the migration using custom plugins or adjusting the content types as this colleague suggests.
Yeah, I have two versions. Also, the rollback will be managed by Migrate, so I'm thinking about.
And any large scale migrations as well. So all that goes in. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And so we've been playing with automators to do like extract structure from unstructured text, because like here you're assuming that your source content is structured.
Yeah.
Have you thought about like a mix between the two models where you have some deterministic extraction and some non-deterministic extraction?
Yeah, this is a good question. Yeah, no, I didn't think about it yet because I'm assuming that the content is structured. Have the same style pattern. I'm using AI to identify the same pattern, basically. But it's a good idea.
Because like you have this design decision that you're trying to use as little LLM queries or LLM calls as possible.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's really necessary as a constraint. Maybe like having the possibility to come, like if you would be able to suggest like an automated extraction using XPaths, and then you also would generate the prompts with automators in the content type, so that if the XPaths fail, they could go and look for the content like using LLMs, kind of like as a fallback LLM way. That would still extract the content if it's there. Then you would be able to create something that's. The other thing I was wondering was how like if you have a first import of one content, one piece of one node, like can you do a follow up? How can you see the diff between the content models? So like if there's like you see, like you have a first node that you import, the second node, like, we have a couple of gaps here. Have you thought about that also, or not yet?
That's a good idea.
Okay. So we should talk.
We should talk. I think we should talk. So,
okay,
basically.
cool. Yeah.
But
okay,
if between contents is not allowed.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, cool stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Can this only analyze static content or also sites with databases?
It can analyze both types of websites. It also analyzes JavaScript rendered websites with the Chromium library. Also sites with it starts from HTML basically.
So it doesn't connect to, say, Drupal 7 database.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Yeah, it's for any kind of legacy website. Also.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Do you know if there is a way to migrate a list of content on the single page into several entities in Drupal?
No, this is mapping for one-to-one basically. No, not from to split. Not to split.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Yeah, look, really interesting. Does it work with existing structure, or are you planning to make it work? Like if I already have a content type, but then I want to just start importing stuff.
Yeah, and at the moment you can refine the model. Basically, it's the same that you already have because it checks if the content already exists, if the fields already exist. It doesn't create the same field 2 times, basically. So at the moment it works, but I think with all the stuff that is going on AI agent, this this will be reached, I think.
Do you have any plan to make it work not only with HTML, but if we upload, for example, XLS or CSV file, and then it can?
Yeah, I have a plan. I have also a plan for JSON path, basically, because basically sometimes the content is JSON structured in other way. You can simply create a plugin. In my idea, you can simply create a plugin to parse this.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so thank you.